Hello and welcome to Informative Speaking. In this lecture, we're going to discuss how you prepare and present an informative speech. So let's get started, shall we? So, what's the purpose of an informative speech? The goal is to increase the knowledge and understanding of your audience and to clarify and explain. It is not to persuade. It builds your audience's awareness of a topic or an issue or a process. So here's an example. If someone has no clue about cryptocurrency, then maybe explaining how a blockchain works might help to inform your audience. Remember, you're not persuading them, you are informing them in this particular example. So, characteristics of an informative speech is that it should be accurate. So, your information must be credible and reliable. It must be clear and easy to understand. Don't make it complicated. Your audience enjoys simplicity. But it also should be interesting and engaging. Your audience should feel like they want to hear more. It also should be relevant and it should connect with your audience's needs. So there are types of informative speeches. There are speeches about objects. That's people, places, and things. An example would be the Eiffel Tower. But there are also speeches about processes, how something works. Let's take CPR for an example. And then there are speeches about events, things that occur, such as the Olympics. And then there are speeches about concepts, ideas, beliefs, or theories, such as mindfulness. Now, it's important that an informative speech, or all of your speeches, should be organized. So, how do you organize an informative speech? You can use something called a chronological or time order. That means you may go to the beginning of something to the current day. And as long as it's something that can be spoken about in a reasonably short period of time. So, chronological order or time order would start from the beginning, you'd go maybe to the middle and the end so that your audience knows how you're flowing. There's also something called spatial or location order. So let's say you were giving information about the touring a museum. Then you might tell them that to begin, they would go left if they want to see this, or right if they want to see that, or upstairs if they want to see something else. That is called spatial or location. Then there's causal, cause and effect. So for instance, if you think that global warming exists, you'll talk about the cause and effect of global warming. Then there's topical, and these are categories, such as renewable energy. Now, remember that things like energy and even something like recycling can have huge topic areas. So you want to narrow your speech down to a specific area or category within that large amount of data and information that you could provide. Now, of course, you want to support your speech with evidence. Use evidence that is credible, trustworthy, is varied, meaning you're using different examples or data or testimony, and it's illustrative, meaning use stories and visuals to engage your audience. So an example might be recycling, and you might talk about the statistics about recycling, but you also might talk about a personal story about recycling. So you want to make your information clear. Define your terms. Avoid using jargon. Jargon is language that might be specific to a certain topic, but maybe it is that your audience doesn't understand the that particular terminology. So use simplistic language, use analogies, right, for complex ideas, and break your content down into steps. Step one, step two, step three. So if an example is that DNA is a blueprint for life, then you might start out describing DNA and breaking it down into steps and using analogies. If DNA is a complex topic to the particular audience that you're talking to, make your speech interesting. Use attention getters. For examples, for you might use an attention getter that is bold, that your audience might be thinking, wow, is that true? Relate to your audience's experiences. So you're speaking in this class to your audience of your peers. Make the information that you're talking about relevant to your peers. Add visuals if you want to, and but make sure that your speech is you first. The visuals are just an aid. Now be ethical, be present, and be balanced. Balance the information. Avoid manipulation or hiding facts. Cite your sources and be transparent about your limitations. So, if you're talking about something and you know a lot about it, but you don't know everything about it, don't come across as if you are the absolute expert. Let your audience know which areas you are limited in. Now, when you deliver your informative speech, speak enthusiastically and be clear about what you're talking about. Use visual aids effectively. Maintain eye contact and have good posture, meaning you're standing up straight. If you're sitting, sit up straight. Don't slouch, and check for audience understanding. Now, in this particular class, that's difficult, but in a speech where you're face to face or if you're online live, ask the audience if they're following. Ask them if they have questions. So, what are your key takeaways? Well, informative speaking is to teach, to clarify, and to explain. It is not to persuade. There are types of informative speeches. You can speak about objects, processes, events, or concepts. It's important to use organization and use strong supporting material. Finally, make your information accurate, clear, and engaging, and you will find that you have an effective, informative speech. All right, thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next lecture.